Imagine this. A man walks into a room he has sat in his whole life. Same chair, same walls, same routine. Nothing has changed. He sits down, like he always does. But today, something feels off. The chair feels uncomfortable. The silence feels heavier. Even the things around him feel unfamiliar. And he doesn't understand why. Because yesterday, this same room felt normal. Yesterday, he could sit there for hours without thinking, but today he keeps shifting, looking around, feeling like he doesn't belong there anymore. So he tells himself, it's just a phase, I'm just tired. But no matter how much he tries to settle, he can't, because something inside him has already moved on, even though his life hasn't. My dear brother, my dear sister, that man is you, and that room is your old life. Nothing around you has changed yet, but Allah has already changed something inside you, and that discomfort you feel is not random. It's a sign, because when Allah decides to raise you, He makes where you used to belong feel like a place you can no longer stay. Allah is destroying the old you. You feel it but can't explain it. There is a moment, usually when everything is quiet, when you feel something shift inside you, not loudly, not clearly, but enough that you cannot ignore it. You sit there, and suddenly the version of you that once felt normal feels distant. The things you used to enjoy feel empty. The habits you once defended start to feel heavy. And the most unsettling part is this: you don't know what's happening to you. You try to go back. You try to feel the same. But something inside you refuses, and this is where fear quietly enters your heart, because you are losing familiarity before you understand purpose. You start questioning yourself. Why don't I feel the same anymore? Why does everything feel off? My dear brother, my dear sister, this is not confusion. This is not loss. This is the beginning, because when Allah decides to raise you, He does not add something new first. He removes who you were. He begins to strip away the version of you that was too attached to this world, the version of you that found comfort in distraction, the version of you that could not carry what is coming next. And that removal feels uncomfortable, because you are being pulled away from what once defined you. But understand this clearly: Allah does not take something from you without purpose. Every discomfort you feel right now is part of a deeper reconstruction. You are not falling apart. You are being rebuilt into someone your past self could not recognize. People start disappearing. You don't know why. There is a stage where the change is no longer just inside you. It starts showing up around you, and it shows up in a way that feels quiet but painful. People begin to fade, not all at once, not with clear endings, but slowly, subtly. The conversations that used to flow start to feel forced. The people who once checked on you go silent. The connection that once felt natural begins to feel distant, and you sit there trying to understand what changed. Because you didn't fight with them, you didn't push them away, you didn't decide this. It just started happening, and that is what makes it hurt more, because there is no closure, no explanation, just distance. And in that silence, your mind starts turning against you. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I've changed too much. Maybe I lost something important. My dear brother, my dear sister, you did change, but not in a way that harms you, in a way that prepares you. Because when Allah decides to raise you, He will not allow certain people to walk into the next version of your life. Not because they are bad, but because they are not aligned with where you are being taken. Some connections were built around your old mindset, your old habits, your old level of understanding, and now you are being moved beyond that. So those connections begin to loosen. And the hardest part is this: you will feel alone before you understand that this loneliness was necessary, because Allah sometimes removes people before they have the chance to hold you back, before they distract you, before they influence you away from your purpose. So what feels like rejection is often protection, and what feels like loss is often space being created, space for growth, space for clarity, space for a new version of you to exist without interference. So do not chase what is leaving, because not everything that leaves you was meant to stay with you. This heaviness in your chest it won't leave. Then comes a stage that is even harder to explain, because now the struggle is not outside, it is inside you. You feel a weight in your chest, a quiet heaviness that follows you everywhere. Even when you are around people, even when nothing is visibly wrong, you smile, you speak, you continue your day. But deep inside, something feels intense, and you cannot switch it off. You try to distract yourself. You scroll, you watch, you surround yourself with noise, but the feeling remains, and eventually, you stop and ask yourself, why do I feel like this? My life is not falling apart, so why does my heart feel so heavy? My dear soul, this is the stage many people misunderstand. They think something is wrong. They think they are breaking. But listen carefully. This heaviness is not destruction. It is expansion. Because when Allah decides to raise you, He expands your heart, and expansion is not a light process. It stretches you beyond what you are used to. It makes you more aware, more sensitive, more reflective. You begin to feel things deeper than before. You begin to notice things you once ignored. You begin to question things you once accepted without thinking. And that depth comes with weight, because your heart is being prepared to carry more than it ever has. More understanding, more responsibility, more closeness to Allah. And that kind of transformation cannot happen without pressure. So do not run from this feeling. Do not label it too quickly. Sit with it, understand it, because this heaviness is not here to break you. It is here to shape you into someone who can carry what is coming next. Your old habits are dying without a fight. There are things you once thought would never leave you, habits you tried to break and failed, patterns you returned to even when you promised yourself you wouldn't. You remember the struggle, the guilt, the cycle. You fall, you regret, you try again and fall again. And after a while, you quietly accepted, this is just who I am. But now, something strange is happening. You are not fighting the same way anymore, and yet, the habits are losing their hold. The desire is weaker. The urge is quieter. The satisfaction is gone. You try to go back to it, but it doesn't feel the same. It feels empty, forced, almost uncomfortable. And this confuses you, because you are not using the same strength, not using the same effort. It is just fading. My dear brother, my dear sister, this is not coincidence. This is not your willpower suddenly becoming perfect. This is Allah helping you. Because when Allah decides to raise you, He does not only command you to leave something, He removes the sweetness from it. He makes what once controlled you feel hollow, so your heart no longer finds comfort in it. And slowly, naturally, you begin to let go. But there is something you must understand here. Just because it is easier to leave does not mean you should go back, because sometimes the test is not in the struggle, it is in the choice. Will you return to what Allah is pulling you away from, or will you trust the direction He is guiding you toward? Every habit that is fading is a sign, a door closing behind you, so you can walk forward without being dragged back. And if you ignore this moment, you risk reopening what Allah was gently closing for you. So respect this change, protect it, because this is not just discipline, this is guidance. You crave silence. The noise feels wrong. There was a time when you could not sit in silence. You needed something playing, something distracting you, people around you, voices filling the space, because silence felt uncomfortable, almost unbearable. But now, everything has changed. You find yourself wanting quiet, not out of boredom, but out of need. You sit alone, and something inside you settles. Your thoughts slow down. Your heart feels clearer, and for a moment, you feel a kind of peace you didn't have before. But when you go back to noise, it feels different. Too loud, too crowded, too much. Conversations that once entertained you now drain you. Distractions that once excited you now feel pointless. And you start asking yourself, why am I becoming like this? Why do I feel better alone than around everything? My dear soul, this is not you becoming distant. This is you being called. Because when Allah decides to raise you, He pulls you away from constant noise so you can finally hear what your heart has been trying to say, so you can reflect, so you can reconnect, so you can sit with yourself without distraction, because growth does not happen in noise. Clarity does not come from constant stimulation. It comes in stillness, and in that stillness, you begin to notice things you were too distracted to see before. Your mistakes, your patterns, your direction, your relationship with Allah, and slowly, your heart starts realigning. But here is the part many people get wrong. They run from this silence. They rush back to noise because silence forces them to face themselves. But you are being given an opportunity, an invitation, to sit in a space where your soul can finally breathe. So do not escape it. Do not fill every quiet moment, because what you find in that silence will guide everything that comes next. Your du'as are changing. This is deep. There was a time when your du'as were simple, clear, direct. You asked Allah for specific things. Ya Allah, give me this. Ya Allah, remove this problem. Ya Allah, fix this situation. And there is nothing wrong with that. Because in the beginning, we ask based on what we see, what we feel, what we think we need. But now, something is changing, and you notice it in the quiet moments. When your hands are raised and your words begin to slow down, you pause more, you think more, and what comes out of your heart feels different. You find yourself saying, Ya Allah, guide me. Ya Allah, fix what is inside me. Ya Allah, make me closer to you. And sometimes, you don't even know what to ask anymore. So you just sit there in silence, feeling something deeper than words. And that moment feels heavy but peaceful at the same time. My dear brother, my dear sister, this change is not random. This is one of the strongest signs, because when Allah decides to raise you, He changes what your heart desires. You stop asking only for outcomes and start asking for direction. You stop asking only for ease and start asking for growth. You stop asking only for what you want and start asking for what Allah wants for you. And this shift is everything. Because the person who only asks for the world will always feel limited. But the person who begins to ask for Allah, for His closeness, for His guidance, is being prepared for something far greater. And there is something else you begin to notice. Your du'as become more honest, less rehearsed, less about saying the right words, and more about expressing what you truly feel. Sometimes you speak, sometimes you whisper, and sometimes you just feel, and Allah understands all of it, even what you cannot say. So do not rush your du'as. Do not force them to sound perfect, because this stage is not about perfection. It is about sincerity. It is about your heart learning how to turn to Allah, not just for answers, but for Him. And understand this clearly. When your du'as change, your direction changes. And when your direction changes, your entire life begins to follow. So if you feel this shift happening inside you, do not ignore it. This is not small. This is depth. This is closeness. This is Allah teaching your heart how to ask for what truly matters. You see life differently now. This is not normal. There comes a point in this journey where something inside you becomes very clear. You are not seeing life the way you used to. The same situations happen, the same problems appear, the same people behave the same way, but your reaction is different. Things that once triggered you no longer have the same power. Moments that once overwhelmed you now feel temporary. You pause more, you observe more, you don't rush to react like before. And sometimes, even you notice it. You sit there and think, why am I not reacting the same way? Why does this not affect me like it used to? And then, people around you start noticing too. They say you've changed, that you've become quiet, that you're distant, that you're not the same person anymore. And for a moment, that makes you uncomfortable, because a part of you wonders, is something wrong with me? My dear brother, my dear sister, this is not something wrong. This is something rare, because when Allah decides to raise you, He does not only change your circumstances, He changes how you see everything. You begin to see beyond the surface. You start recognizing that not every delay is failure. Not every hardship is punishment. Not every loss is meant to destroy you. You begin to understand there is meaning behind what once felt random. You start to see patterns. You start to see wisdom. You start to realize that Allah is writing your story with precision, and slowly, your trust begins to grow. You stop needing immediate answers. You stop demanding instant results. You stop reacting emotionally to every situation. Instead, you step back, you reflect, you accept, and this creates a new kind of peace inside you. Not the kind that comes from everything going your way, but the kind that comes from knowing, even when things don't go your way, there is still purpose. And this is where your mindset shifts completely. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what is Allah showing me through this? That single shift changes everything, because now, every situation becomes meaningful. Every hardship becomes a lesson. Every delay becomes a form of guidance. And once you reach this level of understanding, you cannot go back to who you were, because your vision has expanded, your awareness has deepened, and your connection with Allah has become stronger than your attachment to this world. So if you feel like you no longer fit into the way you used to think, if you feel like your reactions are no longer the same, if you feel like you are seeing things differently than everyone around you, do not be afraid of it. This is not you becoming strange. This is you becoming aware. And when Allah gives you that awareness, it is because He is preparing you for a level of life that requires a completely different way of seeing everything. Now 8, this is my last part. You thought you were losing. Allah was raising you. There comes a quiet moment, usually after everything has shaken you, when you finally start to see, not perfectly, not all at once, but enough to understand something you couldn't understand before. You look back at the distance, at the people who left, at the habits that faded, at the heaviness you carried, at the confusion that stayed with you for so long, and slowly, something begins to connect. It was never random. It was never meaningless. It was never against you. It was all leading you somewhere. And for the first time, you stop asking, why did this happen to me? Because deep down, you already feel the answer. My dear brother, my dear sister, you were not being pushed down. You were being lifted. But the process of elevation did not look like success. It looked like loss. Because Allah was removing everything that could not go with you to where you are being taken. He was clearing space. He was protecting you. He was preparing you. And the version of you back then would have never understood this. That version of you was too attached, too distracted, too comfortable with what was familiar. So Allah changed you, not all at once, but step by step, silently, precisely. And now, you are standing in a place you once feared, a place where things are different, where you are different. And even though parts of you still feel uncertain, there is something else inside you now, a quiet strength, a deeper trust, a calm you didn't have before. And this is when you realize something that changes everything. Nothing you lost was truly meant for you. Nothing that left was supposed to stay. Nothing that hurt was without purpose. It was all part of a process to raise you to a level your old self could not reach. So if you are still in the middle of it, still feeling the confusion, still feeling the weight, do not rush it. Do not try to escape it, because elevation is not something that happens instantly. It is something that is built through everything you thought was breaking you. And one day, sooner than you think, you will look back at this version of yourself, the one who felt lost, the one who felt alone, the one who didn't understand, and you will realize this was the version Allah was using to raise you.